I'm Edie Lush, executive editor of Hub Culture, and I think this might be my 16th interview with Lucian Tarnowski, the founding curator of United Planet and the Up Games. I think you've had at least as many titles as interviews. But you know what I love about you, Lucian, is that you've always got an amazing story to tell. And I'm a huge fan of the importance of stories. I love this idea that stories are the intelligent beings and they just use humans to recreate, right? We've been telling stories since we lived in caves together. We've got them on our Kindles piled up next to our bedside tables. We go to films, opera, ballet, whatever it is. Tell me what you think about the importance of narrative.
So I believe narratives are the front line. The way we steer the ship, as it were, is through those stories. Nothing gets created without it first being a story. You know, everything ever that humanity has conceived of began with a story. And a story is our imagination turned into a vision that we can share with each other, that we can actually direct our energy towards creating. And so, you know, we have been, if you like, a storytelling species. We've had this oral tradition for 200,000 years. We've told stories that have created our reality. And so we're now at a point where we desperately need a reality upgrade. You know, there is a crisis of story out there at the moment. There is a crisis of narrative. There's, if you like, a poverty of narrative. There is, you know, it's been described so well as a tragedy of the horizon. In the same way as we have a tragedy of the commons, we have a tragedy of the horizon, that we are, if you like, at large being conquered by dystopia. And when the world loses hope and confidence in a thriving future, in a positive future, in a future that is, you know, able to be better than the present, we actually start to create the feedback loops that drive us towards that dystopia.
I mean, you can stay positive, you can tell positive stories. It is difficult in a world which is overrun with the dystopia ideas or the ideas that aren't so positive. So how do you become larger than that?
Well, so this is where there's this concept of a meta-narrative. You know, we've heard about the crisis at the moment is a meta-crisis, and it's a crisis coming from every different angle, and it requires a systemic
like a
response.
Tsunami of crisis.
Exactly, like a polycrisis. You know, so right now, what we need is, if you like, a meta-narrative of not how do we, if you like, incrementally transform our reality and improve our situation, but how do we quantum jump? How do we leap into a different relationship to being? And if you like, how do we use narrative to do a civilization upgrade? Like a civilization handbrake turn, like a fork. And so I think that's the point we're at right now. You know, we cannot maintain status quo because our world requires a completely different reality. And so what we're doing with United Planet is we are now the world's largest positive story of the future.
Okay.
In that we've brought together over 1,000 leading change makers. Amazing. Stan's been at multiple. And
I'm still trying to get there. I
can't wait for you to come.
Me too.
And about roughly once a month, we invite somewhere between 40 and 60 leading change makers to spend 6 days in what we call the Up Game. And the Up Game is
gamified storytelling.
Gamified storytelling, and what we're doing is we're inviting the most inspiring, visionary people from around the world. We've had people from over 100 countries, over 1,000 people, to come and step into a state of being, a shared, co-created reality where we're living our vision of the future. So it's actually a very old idea. The Greeks did this for nearly 2,000 years. And what we're doing is we're saying, okay, what if we could collapse past and future into the now so that we can bring any vision from the past that we want to reclaim and invite back into the present reality. And any vision that we might have of the future, we bring into an experience, an embodied experience in the here and now. And we gamify that into a immersive experience where we're living each other's vision of the future. And we're filming that. And so now we filmed, you know, over 2,000 hours, approaching 3,000 hours of these immersive visions. Now, that is really powerful as a transformative experience for every one of those people that participate. But I think potentially even more powerful is creating a protopic, a positive vision of the horizon of civilization.
Okay.
Now, with that, that can be a film, it can be a documentary TV series, it can be a choose-your-own-adventure media world.
Right.
But even more unique is we're the first in the world to now train AI from the future.
Okay.
So we've taken all the transcripts of everything ever spoken, and we've been training an AI we call Gaia, because Gaia speaks as the voice of Mother Nature.
Right.
And so Gaia is now one of the most sophisticated collective intelligence repositories ever created of the pathway to lead to a thriving civilization, to an upgrade in how we design our world and our reality. And here's the hypothesis here that we haven't done yet, but we're working on it, which is one of the stories most in need of an upgrade in our world is the story of money.
Okay.
And
Why is that? Why
what we
money?
can do, well, money right now, if you think, if you think about like how money has been used as a weapon, if you like, in that there is a disease within money. It's called quantitative easing, and the governments are printing money, and people that are holding that money are getting poorer. Like if you look at the dollar, between 2020 and 2026, we have diluted the dollar by 46%. In terms of the increase of supply of how much dollars have been printed. It's a huge amount of money to 46%.
Yeah.
And so what we've done is we've created a new concept of money called stars. And we've done some clever things with it with the dollar, which I won't go into now. But what we're designing is to embed our AI Gaia into each star so that we can actually encode into money collective intelligence, intention, and directed purpose, so that we can actually have intelligent money that goes and says, okay, if we can bring some of the smartest, most heart-centric, conscious change makers in the world, some of the most inspiring people from around the world, from indigenous leaders to investors to musicians to artists, filmmakers, etc. If we can have a clear vision of where we want to go as a North Star of civilization, what if we can encode all of those visions into money and then give the AI real-time choice making as to how to invest that capital to achieve those outcomes?
Okay.
Quite literally reverse engineering the future.
Okay.
So this is one of the hypotheses I have, is that there is something hiding in plain sight. And the way we create planetary civilization scale systems change is actually from the place where we've already done it. So there's this very simple fractal idea here, which is let's start from where we wish to be. Let's start with the end in mind and then reverse
with a good
engineer.
intention, where we want to go. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Now, from stars, literally to the stars, you're also sending some of these ideas into space, which was, I think, my favorite digital Christmas card that I received, was what you're doing there. Tell us a little bit about that to finish us off.
Well, so back in 2020, Davos, I remember we spoke about it in an interview, I launched what we called the golden memes.
Yeah, that's right.
And what I committed to was to pick the 10 most powerful ideas that I had heard in that year from the community and ask the community of Gaians, of these amazing change makers, kind of athletes of systems change, to say what are the biggest ideas that we can put in a meme size. And every year since 2020, we've been releasing 10. And so now we have 60 golden memes. And these are, if you like, shortcuts to how do we create a thriving civilization in harmony with all life? Like, what is the quantum jump? And so last year we sent with a mission called LifeShip. We landed on the 2nd of March in the Firefly Aerospace lander that landed on the moon. We landed the first pyramid ever taken outside of planet Earth, and we put that pyramid inside the lander. And in that pyramid has all these golden memes. And we put a drop of this water from my dear friend Richard. We're what we call waternauts. We put a drop of this water, which comes from 32 different water sources all around planet Earth. And we put a drop of that inside the pyramid along with seeds, along with all sorts of different artworks and messages, a complete DNA backup of the DNA of every single species on Earth.
Wow.
And we put it in the pyramid, and it's going to be up on the moon for 1 billion years. So if any intelligent life was to find that pyramid, they can do a complete backup of Gaia, of planet Earth, all life on Earth, including some of the best ideas we have for how to create a thriving planetary civilization. So it's essentially like a beacon of hope.
It's the best of humanity.
The best of humanity.
best
A bit
of
like
humanity.
the Golden Record did
Yeah.
this with the,
Right.
So we're not the first to send our intentions to space. But what we're doing this year is we're going to land, hopefully if we land it, we're going to land on an asteroid, and that asteroid's going to go so far out into deep space that we're going to be the furthest human intention ever. And it's going to be inside a pyramid. And we've built pyramids many times. You can
Right.
think of pyramids as like, it's like a cathedral project, a cosmic cathedral project,
Yeah.
And so this notion of how do we send stories, our intentions, because our stories are a reflection of our own values, our consciousness, our creativity, our ingenuity, our vision. And so how do we send those stories into the cosmos such that they can actually inspire us to be better? And that's something I've always felt, space has been a frontier of, is to inspire us to think beyond the day-to-day,
horizon,
beyond the
yeah.
horizon. And so that's something that at United Planet we're very excited about. And it's something I've been involved in for a long time.
Oh, I love it, Lucian. Thank you so much. I always enjoy our chats.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for stopping by and being a partner and friend to Hub Culture.
Thank you.
It's Davos 2026, and I'm Edie Lush.